In the sprawling, vibrant city of Lagos, two souls moved to their own distinct rhythms, unaware that their paths were destined to cross. There was Sade, a young woman with a heart as warm as the Nigerian sun. She worked as a librarian, finding joy in the quiet rustle of pages and the endless stories they held. Her dreams were simple yet profound. She wished for a love that felt like coming home, a connection that was both peaceful and deep. She believed in the magic of small moments, like the first rain of the season or the sweet taste of freshly picked mangoes. Her life was a gentle song, waiting for another voice to join in harmony. On the other side of the bustling city was Kunle, a man whose hands brought old things back to life. He was a furniture restorer, a craftsman who saw beauty in the forgotten and broken. His workshop was a sanctuary filled with the scent of wood polish and the sound of careful, dedicated work. Kunle was quiet and thoughtful, his words often as measured as his precise cuts into aged mahogany. He carried a gentle strength within him, a resilience learned from mending what others had discarded. He longed for someone who could see the stories etched into the grain of his own life, someone to share the quiet satisfaction of a day's hard work. Sade and Kunle were like two separate melodies playing in the grand orchestra of Lagos. She found her peace in the world of words and imagination, while he found his in the tangible world of creation and restoration. Their lives were full, yet there was a space, an unspoken emptiness that only another person could fill. They walked the same streets, breathed the same humid air, and gazed at the same star-dusted sky, all the while oblivious to the gentle pull of fate that was slowly, surely drawing their separate worlds together into a single beautiful story. The city itself seemed to be conspiring to unite them. Lagos, with its constant motion and unceasing energy, was a place where anything could happen. It was a city of a million different stories unfolding at once, a place where destinies could change in the blink of an eye. The yellow Danfo buses sped through the streets, carrying dreams and hopes. The markets overflowed with life, a kaleidoscope of sights, sounds, and smells. It was within this beautiful chaos, this vibrant tapestry of existence, that the first threads of Sade and Kunle's love story were about to be woven together, a testament to the idea that even in a city of millions, two hearts can find their way to each other. Their meeting was as simple and as magical as a Lagos sunset. One sweltering afternoon, a sudden downpour sent people scurrying for cover. Sade, caught without an umbrella, ducked into the nearest open doorway, which happened to be Kunle's workshop. She stood there, dripping and slightly embarrassed, her eyes taking in the fascinating world of half-finished chairs and antique tables. Kunle looked up from a delicate spindle he was carving, his gaze meeting hers. He didn't just see a stranger seeking shelter. He saw the sparkle of raindrops in her hair and the gentle curiosity in her eyes. He offered her a warm smile and a dry cloth, a simple gesture that felt like the beginning of something important. Their conversation started slowly, like the gentle patter of rain on the tin roof above them. Sade asked about his work, her voice full of genuine interest. She was captivated by the way he spoke about wood, how he described the history hidden within each piece of furniture. Kunle, in turn, was enchanted by her love for books and stories. He listened as she described far-off lands and epic adventures she had only read about. The rain continued to fall outside, but inside the small workshop, a warmth was growing between them, a connection built on shared passions and a mutual appreciation for the beauty in the world. That first meeting blossomed into a beautiful friendship. Sade started visiting the workshop regularly, often bringing him a flask of hot tea and a new story to share. Kunle would show her his latest projects, explaining the intricate process of bringing a forgotten treasure back to its former glory. They would talk for hours, their conversations weaving through topics of art, life, dreams and fears. Their friendship was a comfortable space where they could both be their true selves, without pretense or reservation. It was a friendship built on a foundation of respect and a deep growing fondness for each other. Their time together became a cherished ritual. Sometimes they would leave the workshop and explore the city. They walked along the shores of Tarkwa Bay, watching the ships sail into the horizon. They wandered through the Lekki Conservation Center, hand in hand on the canopy walk, laughing as they pointed out monkeys in the trees. Each shared experience was like adding another note to their growing symphony. Their friendship was no longer just about shared interests. It was about creating new memories, about building a world that belonged only to them. A world filled with laughter, understanding, and the quiet promise of something more. The moment of realization was not a sudden crash of cymbals, but a slow, sweet crescendo. It happened one evening as they sat in Kunle's workshop, the air thick with the scent of sawdust and the promise of another night storm. Saad was reading aloud from a book of poetry, her voice a soft and melodic river in the quiet room. Kunle wasn't just listening to the words, he was watching the way the lamplight danced on her face, the way her eyes lit up with every beautiful line. It was in that quiet, unassuming moment that he knew. He was in love with her. He loved her gentle spirit, her brilliant mind, and the way she made his simple workshop feel like the grandest place on earth. For Sade, the feeling had been growing for some time, a gentle warmth spreading through her heart. She realized it fully when Kunle presented her with a gift. It was a small, exquisitely carved wooden bookmark, shaped like a feather. He explained that he had made it from the wood of a jacaranda tree, the same kind that blossomed outside her library. The thoughtfulness of the gesture, the care he had taken to create something so personal and perfect for her, overwhelmed her with emotion. It was more than just a piece of wood, it was a piece of his heart, a silent declaration that he saw her, truly saw her, and cherished everything about her. Their love was an unspoken melody that played between them. It was in the lingering glances, the way their hands would accidentally brush against each other, sending a jolt of electricity through them both. It was in the comfortable silences that needed no words, and in the easy laughter that filled the spaces they shared. They had built such a strong foundation of friendship that falling in love felt like the most natural thing in the world. It wasn't a leap of faith, but a gentle, inevitable step into a future that suddenly seemed brighter and more beautiful than they had ever imagined. Yet with this profound new feeling came a small seed of fear. The thought of confessing their love was daunting. What if the other person didn't feel the same way? What if speaking the words broke the perfect spell of their friendship? This unspoken tension hung in the air, a beautiful but fragile thing. They both circled the truth, afraid to be the first to say it, terrified of losing what they had. Their love was a tangible presence in the room, a powerful force that was both wonderful and frightening, waiting for the courage to finally be given a voice. The small conflict arose not from anger, but from a simple misunderstanding born of that very fear. A prestigious gallery in Victoria Island offered Kunle a chance to exhibit his work, a lifelong dream. The opportunity would require him to travel for several weeks to prepare. Overwhelmed and excited, he struggled to find the right way to tell Sade. He became distant and preoccupied, his mind consumed by the logistics and the pressure. Sade, noticing his withdrawal, felt a pang of insecurity. She misinterpreted his silence as a sign that he was pulling away from her, that their beautiful connection was fading. The unspoken melody between them faltered, replaced by a quiet, painful static. The distance grew for a few days, the workshop feeling empty even when they were both there. The easy conversation was replaced by strained small talk. The silence that was once comfortable now felt heavy with unspoken questions. Finally, unable to bear the growing chasm between them, Sade gathered her courage. She went to the workshop one evening, her heart pounding. She found Kunle staring at a half-finished table, his shoulders slumped. She simply asked, "Kunle, are we okay? Did I do something wrong?" The honesty and vulnerability in her voice broke through his wall of stress and worry. He looked at her, his eyes filled with regret for causing her pain. He explained everything, the gallery, the pressure, his dream, and his foolish fear of telling her. Perhaps because it felt so real and he was scared of what it all meant. As he spoke, Sade's fears melted away, replaced by an overwhelming sense of pride and love for him. They talked for hours, clearing away the clouds of misunderstanding. In that moment of pure honesty, they solved the problem not as individuals, but as a team. He confessed his fear of the future, and she confessed her fear of losing him. And in that shared vulnerability, they found their strength. That night, under the soft glow of the workshop lamps, Kunle finally said the words, "Sade, I love you." And Sade, with tears of joy in her eyes, replied, "I love you too, Kunle." It was a simple exchange, but it held the weight of their entire journey. Their love story, born in a rainstorm and nurtured in friendship, had found its voice. This is the beautiful truth of love. It is not about avoiding problems, but about facing them together. It's about communication, trust, and the unwavering hope that when two hearts are meant to be, they will always find their way back to their beautiful, destined duet, creating a melody that lasts a lifetime.